Hi, Jo Rowe here and a very warm welcome. I am the mental health coach and I'm all about getting back your mind mojo with me, Jo Rowe. And today I've been asked to talk about mental health, all things mental health for business owners, in particular women. However, mental health can impact anybody. So I'm going to talk through three things today, a little bit about my own mental health journey in the hope that it inspires you and that you can resonate with it. And then I would like to talk about what lessons I've learned along the way to sort of nip stress in the bud so that my mental health didn't get so serious. And then I would like to maybe just ground ourselves in a little bit of motivation and self-belief, because when things get challenging in business, it's really important that we have that self-belief and motivation. So first of all, a little bit about me. So I was a manager for 12 years for local authority, and I was responsible for 120 people and a £2 million budget at one point. So stress was fairly normal. It was, for me, it was a big part of my life, and it was almost like a friend that I carried around with me, a heavy friend, but I carried it around with me. So things started to change. So back in 2012, I lost my stepmom to cancer, and also my dad had cancer, and we took on, myself and my sisters took on the caring responsibilities. And we watched him deteriorate, and sadly he passed away. And that at the time was also a very traumatic experience, looking back at it. So I then had my job at risk, and work became a really, really unhealthy place for me. The dynamics had changed. And also, as part of that change, my own behaviours started to change. So I was getting more irritable, and I, as part of those behaviours, my day basically looked something like this. I would have a couple of cans of energy drinks on the way to work because I'd not slept very well the night before. That's because I was thinking about anything and everything. I then would work through my day, work really long hours, take no breaks. I would live on caffeine and coffee. I would then go home and I would start to open a bottle of wine maybe, or go on to my second bottle of wine. Throughout the day I will have skipped meals and I wouldn't have drank water. So I wasn't hydrating myself and looking after myself generally. And then back to going to bed again, and then my mind would be just so on work and on life that I just couldn't shut down. And then eventually I had no choice, because I was first diagnosed with general anxiety disorder, and then I had chronic fatigue, and I became bedridden pretty much overnight for at least 3 months. And then following that, I had my first bipolar episode, which for me is very manic. It's a manic episode with hallucinations and delusions. And as part of that, I was sectioned in a mental health hospital for the first time in 2013. So I then got back on the hamster wheel. I then thought I'd continue to be Superwoman, and I ended up back in hospital again back in 2015 with my second manic episode with bipolar. So that included, again, hallucinations and delusions. I lost total touch with reality, and a really, really scary place to be. So as part of my wellness, coaching and NLP became my huge game changer for my own mental wellness, and it's what led me to my purpose and my path of what I'm doing now. So that's where I am. I'm 4 years into business. I absolutely love what I do, and I wanted to just share some tips with you. So after what I've just talked about, it makes sense to maybe go through some lifestyle type tips. So now, for example, I eat really, really healthily. Life's all about balance though, so at the weekend I do indulge. I don't like loads of veg on a plate, for example, so I have a NutriBullet and have my mood food, as I call it, within my NutriBullet. So lots of green food in there, nuts, and I like nice flavours as well, and that gives me the energy and concentration that I need. and it's a lovely boost. So I then also, sleep is uber important to me. If I lose 2 nights sleep, I am likely to have an episode again. So it's having a really good sleep routine. So me and my partner have what I call lavender come to bed with us. So that's the lavender. I drop lavender on my pillow. That's really helpful. I also love a bath. I call it a bum burning bath that I enjoy having just to help me relax and unwind. So I have a really good sleep routine now. And also I hydrate myself throughout the day. I like green tea, or I'll drink plenty of water, and just general self-care and looking after myself. And yeah, it's just really important things like that that actually reduce my stress levels. So I'm not a big into exercise. Eating, sleeping and exercise are the fundamental things, and I'm not big into exercise, but I love walking my dogs, and that's the thing that I do. So it gives me a break, it gives me motivation, it clears my mind, and it's just being out in nature, and it's just brilliant. So it's just thinking about what sort of things can you start to build into your life that are going to help you and that are important to you. And I think for me, like I say, it's about that reducing your stress levels so that you can have a clear mind and focus on your business. And look after yourself so that you are really focused, really energized and raring to go. So yeah, and I work on 7 building blocks, and this is where I wanted to go into a little bit more detail. So the lifestyle thing is what we've just been talking about, and that's one of the building blocks. The other thing as part of the building blocks is mental health, absolutely. So I've learned how to regulate my thoughts around my own mental health to keep me really balanced and grounded. It's about having goals, and very nice, clear goals that are achievable. It's about having confidence, which I want to talk about a little bit more, and motivation, which I'd like to also talk a bit more about. And then it's about clients come to me, and it's about the other stuff that's maybe going off in life. So the work that I've just been talking about, or it may be a relationship that you're going through, or it may be a past life thing, that a memory just needs cleaning up from. So yeah. So going back to work, I think it's just, people say knowing your why. For me, it's that purpose. What is your purpose? So I know when I went to hospital the second time, my purpose was 100% that I love developing people. I was already on my coaching journey, and I wanted to make a difference to people through coaching. So really tap into what is the reason you do what you do, and then build that belief, build the evidence that you've got that you can do this, because that keeps you grounded in challenging times. We've had COVID come in. There's going to be times that's going to come into your business where you're going to think things aren't going so well, but if you keep going at it and have that belief, then you'll continue to build your business. And then also with that, it's the motivation that comes with that. So how much do you want it? Is it worth the effort? These are things to start asking yourself. Motivation is really important, and I call it, in my world from NLP, you've got towards motivators and away motivators, and the things that you are motivated towards doing are the things that will keep you going. So if you're motivated away from something, you might start to look at the jobs on Indeed, for example, because you're then going to bounce back into that work life that you actually maybe wanted to come into something else that you're motivated more towards doing. So just really tap into what are you motivated towards doing, what keeps you going as part of your business. So I hope that's been helpful, and thank you for listening.